It is 2026, and if you've never passed summaries before, you're about to pass your first one because this is a proven way for you to pass summaries. Now, obviously, these summaries are in Afrikaans, so you're going to be learning how to do opsomming, but I promise you it's the exact same thing. And if, let's say, you didn't understand summaries in English either, I think the system will solve two birds with one stone, basically. You'll understand how to do the English summary, and you'll understand how to do the Afrikaans opsomming. All right, so in grade 12, I've had students before who understood summaries for the first time in grade 12. So if you feel like you've never understood summaries before, come into this lesson with a clear mind in order for you to learn what you need to learn from it. Before we start, I want to run through a few things so that we can make sure that all the information you're about to hear lands on solid ground, okay? So summaries is a way that they check that you understand what you read. So it's part of comprehension. So as you know, the very first question that counts 30 marks in your test or exam is about, do you understand the information that's been given to you? That's what comprehension means. So they use summaries to also check, are you able to compress a lot of information into basically the bottom line of what the information is about? It's also a way for you to pick up 10 marks because a lot of people struggle with just doing the comprehension and the language or the grammar part of the paper. So this is a way for you to pick up 10 easy marks. So there is no way that you should be failing this section. Another thing about summaries is that they never change. That's the nice thing about them. The questions stay the same over and over again. The only thing that they change is the scenario. So you can prepare for them well in advance because all you need to know is what is required over and over again. That's why we do past papers, so that we won't be surprised by what is in the paper. All right, they are also structured for you to get your marks no matter what you do. You'll see the rubric that we'll go over at the end. The summary is made for you to make it impossible for you to get zero. But there are people who work really hard to get that zero. And by that, I mean they don't prepare. They are always shocked that the summary is there. They avoid summaries, which means that they let 10 marks just go, meaning that's how they get the zero. So there's ways for you to prepare in order for you to make sure that you get 100% for summaries. And I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. They only increase the difficulty of the language. What that means is that in grade 7, the Afrikaans you're learning there is quite basic. I would say grade 7 until grade 8, and then grade 9, 10, 11 is like medium to hard level, and then grade 12 is what they consider to be the hardest. All right, so with this method, you will never fail summaries again, and I mean that because every person that I've worked with, that I've tutored using this exact method, never failed summaries again. Okay. So we got this from the Gauteng June 2025 exam paper. I tried to find one that was as recent as possible. I'm telling you where it's from so that if you want to go download the paper, you can. So for the next part, I really need you to put your pens down or your pencils, whichever tool you're using, because this is the part that people skip and then they don't know why they're failing. So in order for us to avoid that, I literally physically need you to put your pen down. All right, even please do this in the test as well. So even if you don't understand a word of what is being said here, I still want you to read it, because your mind, when it's trying to cope with a language that it doesn't understand, and I can empathize because when your mind is trying to learn a new language, it holds on to the parts that it knows and ignores the parts that it doesn't know. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So at the top, afdeling B, opsomming, that means section B, summary. You should know that by now. If not, then now you know. Lees die teks hieronder deur en voer die instruksies uit. That means read the text underneath properly through and follow the instructions. Vraag 2, question 2. Jy moet probeer om brandstof te bespaar. So what does that mean? So it means you must try, jy moet probeer, you must try to save petrol. Okay, so brandstof means petrol or fuel. Okay, so if you did not know that, you could have looked at the word brandstof as something isolated. So you know brand means fire or burn or anything like that. And you might not have known what stof meant. So maybe you could treat that as something that you don't know, but this is the thing that you have to save. So you must try and save something. Let's say you do not know the word brandstof. Okay. Then there's other words as well that they try to use in most summaries. Bespaar, spaar, red. Red also means save, but in a rescue kind of way. Verminder, lower this in order to save the environment, stuff like that. Misbruik, like something's being misused. So what are the tips you would give to do such and such stuff? It never changes. It's always about how to make something better. Okay, so either it's about fuel, it's about electricity, it's about water, it's about national parks, it's about money. All these things are the topics that they generally use with summaries. So when you go back to the instructions, it says, som die 7 feite oor die manier waarop 'n mens kan spaar wanneer jy kar bestuur in jou eie volsinne op. So if you didn't know anything, what I do expect you to know is 7, because you've been counting in Afrikaans since grade 4. Feite, because you've been doing summaries since grade 7, and feite has been there over and over. If you didn't know this, all of this, it's fine. Mens, you know, is people, humans. Kan spaar, a person or people can save. Wanneer, when, it's one of the questions. You should know all the question forms. Jy, you, kar, car, bestuur, drive. There are 2 types of bestuur. There's the drive one, then there's the manager one, or the manage, because a bestuurder is the one that bestuur, okay? Eie, own, full sentences op. I also expect you to know this coming from grade 7. All right. So once you know that, okay, they want 7 facts on ways that a person or people, sorry, that's supposed to say save. When you drive a car, what are you saving exactly? You're saving fuel. Okay. Next, it says write it puntsgewys. Puntsgewys means you must, they must be like in bullet form, but you must number the bullets. There, nommer die feite. So in bullet form, I mean like number them, but they must be like fact, not paragraphs. I think that's what I'm trying to say. All right. Your summary must not be longer than 70 words. And you must indicate at the bottom the number of words. You've seen this over and over. Nothing changes about this. So if, let's say, you have practiced this over and over, you basically just need 1 minute of putting your pen down to assess that it's about saving fuel. It needs to be in bullet form. Here I wrote the alternative is what? The alternative is that they ask you to write in paragraph form. So if you see paragraph, it means that it must be in a paragraph. I must add numbers because it says nommer die feite. It must be 70 words or less, which means that you have to count the words physically. And there's a cheat way of doing this because sometimes you literally can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can literally either count like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 or whatnot, or you can count the first line and see approximately how many words are there and then basically guess the rest. So if, let's say, the first line is 8 words, you can assume that all of them are 8 words or 7 or 8 words and then maybe make a guess from there. But your guess must be pretty good because what you don't want is to spend 3 to 5 minutes counting the words one by one. Another way is to count the words as you write the sentence. So if you wrote the first sentence, you just write number of words right next to it so that you don't have to go back and count for 3 to 5 minutes. Basically, the point is don't waste time. So in this way, like where you take 1 minute to assess, it's about fuel, that's also in a way a summary. Like I just summarized the question. So instead of using all these words, this is all. All right, let's start now. So this is the text that we've been given. Just before we start, let's count quickly how many paragraphs are here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As if they are trying to help you in a way. Because now you can just make sure that you get a fact or grab a fact from each and every paragraph. They might not do it like that necessarily because you're in grade 12. Sometimes they can give you more than the 7 facts and then in case you missed one, or sometimes they can put 2 or 3 facts in one paragraph. They can also do that. But you just make sure that you wrote points 1 to 7 and that it's less than 70 words. So here's the method, all right? Again, this will range from whether you understand Afrikaans or not. So if you understood Afrikaans, this will be easier for you. But if you don't, then I've tried to make it understandable if you are majority just English. But I'll do another one for people that do understand Afrikaans but are still doing for first additional language. All right, so spaar so agter die stuur. This is wordplay, like save while you're behind the wheel or save while you're driving. I did add the title here to explain that. So you're going to read as fast as you can. Ry egalig, voetliggies op die versnellerpedaal en moenie onnodig hard rem nie. Beklemtoon Leighton. I'm assuming this Leighton is a person. Hoe vinniger jy ry, hoe meer petrol gebruik jy. Trek dus stadig en geleidelik by verkeersligte en stopstrate weg. So if this feels a bit difficult for you, this is unfortunately matric language. That's why I'm saying that matric is the one that has the hardest I guess Afrikaans, okay? But there are some words that you can already get here. Ry means to drive. So I wrote it for you here in a small summary. This is what you need to do when you are practicing for a summary. Let's say you're starting from the bottom. So you need to practice this because technically, even if you didn't write all of this down like I did, that's what you are doing as you're reading this. So if you were in the exam, you'd be using a pencil or a different color pen to write everything that I wrote here on the sides, right? And cross out the words that you don't know because you are not going to figure it out in the exam paper. There are people who, when I'm invigilating, they keep looking around as if they are waiting for the word to appear in their minds. You're wasting time. So focus on what you can understand. So ry means drive. I put a question mark here because that's a hard word even for me. Turns out that it means even or evenly. Voetliggies op die versnellingspedaal. Voetliggies, be light-footed on the acceleration pedal. Okay? En moenie onnodig hard rem nie. So when I look up rem, it basically means to brake, right? But to me, when I read it, it also can mean don't rev the car unnecessarily. You know how people do. You've seen that. Anyway, basically, the faster you drive, the more petrol you're using. The faster you drive, the more petrol you're using. So you are translating it for yourself as you are moving along. Trek dus stadig en geleidelijk by die verkeersligte en stopte weg. Move slowly when you are driving from the robots and the stop signs. That's basically what it means. Now, your job, your only job, is to get the facts. How do you get the facts? The fact says, or the question says, you need to figure out how to save petrol. So if the sentence you're thinking about is not about saving petrol, you are wasting time. So here it says, hoe vinniger jy ry, let's say you don't understand Afrikaans that perfectly, then you can quote this part. Hoe vinniger jy ry, hoe meer petrol gebruik jy. You can use that. Or you can say, moet nie onnodig hard rem nie. You can use one of those two. Write it down as your point number one or your point number two. And focus on always using the verb first. So here it's a command. Don't rev the car or don't brake hard or whatever, right? Or here, hoe vinniger jy ry, hoe meer petrol gebruik jy. So how can you put that into a statement? You can say, ry stadig of ry stadiger. There, I put it for you. Or verminder jou spoed, lower your speed. So the key to everything regarding summaries is to start with the verb. Now this is the actual summary, not the one where you quote. So there's two sections to it. Either you use your very own words. If you do that, start with a statement or use statements that start with verbs, okay? But if you don't understand Afrikaans, pull the tip or pull the fact from the text. I hope you understand that, but I'll show you at the end. Next is paragraph 2. Paragraph 2 says, America's Union of Concerned Scientists. This has nothing to do with you. That's why I wrote here that it's irrelevant. So whenever a text is irrelevant, you don't even include it in the summary because this part hasn't told us how to save fuel. Your only job is to write down things that save fuel. So if it doesn't talk about that, you don't include it. Okay, so it says, as jy 'n spoed van so 100 km per uur in plaas van 120 km per uur handhaaf means maintain, kan jou petrolverbruik, your petrol usage, met 20% daal. It can lower with 20%. And I wrote it for you this side as well. If you drive at a speed or maintain a speed of 100 kilometers an hour instead of 120 kilometers an hour, you can decrease your petrol use with up to 20%. So we need to figure out how to say that because that's why I wrote your conclusion here is that it's better to drive at 100 kilometers per hour than 120 kilometers per hour. So basically you're trying to say maintain a speed of at least or of 100 kilometers an hour or less. Okay? So here I wrote that costs minder petrol or minder as 100 kilometer per uur te ry. That means it costs less fuel to drive less than 100 kilometers an hour. As you can see, because it doesn't start with a verb, it's way longer than what it has to be. But the next one is my favorite, handhaaf, which is to maintain, and you got it from the text, 'n spoed van 100 kilometer per uur of minder. That means maintain a speed of 100 kilometers or less. Okay, next, now we go to paragraph 3. Skakel oor. So if you don't know what skakel means, it basically means either shift or connect. The main verb is connect, or main translation is connect. Skakel oor na 'n hoër rad. So if you're English and you don't know that rad means gear, Actually, let me stop here to say this. So, in order for you to improve your odds of actually like winning at Afrikaans, is to increase your general knowledge. So, if you are in a car and you don't know the elements of a car, for example, this is this is where now you'll be at a disadvantage because you need to have curiosity. So if let's say you are using water and you're using a hose pipe and all those things, you need to ask yourself, what is a hose pipe in Afrikaans? Let me quickly Google it. You are already online. Do you understand? Or what is fuel in Afrikaans? What is a wheel in Afrikaans? What is the air that we put in a wheel in Afrikaans? All those things. So that's how you build your general knowledge because these are the things that they can't teach you at school. There's way too many words for them to kind of like download them into you. So you need to develop like your own curiosity. Okay, let's get back. So, skakel oor na hoë rad sodat jou engine dit toelaat, want jy gebruik meer petrol in lae radde. Jy kan ook radde oorslaan. Gaan byvoorbeeld direk van eerste na derde rad. So, skakel oor, that means change to a high gear if your engine allows it. You use less petrol. I wanted to say you use more petrol in lower gears. Excuse me. Jy kan ook radde oorslaan. That means you can skip gears. You can go from 1 to 3, which is what this means. And both of these things are irrelevant, but you can include them to make your example because 70 words is a lot. So what I did, you can see each time I started with a verb. Gebruik net hoë radde. Or skakel vinnig oor na 'n hoë rad. Vermy lae radde. It means the same. Okay, so this is one point. So that's why I wouldn't include both of them in a thing, but yeah. All right, so we're done with paragraph 3. Now we need 4. 4 was a bit hard because I don't mess with cars like that. So I have no idea what this text even meant. So it says, om jou revolusies onder onnodig hoogte laat hardloop, vreet petrol. I don't know what revolusies is. Motoriste trap dikwels die versneller I'm assuming is still acceleration, tot 3000 omwentelings. I don't know what this is. Per minuut of meer, wanneer hulle na 'n hoë rad verwissel, terwyl 2500 in 'n petrol en 2000 in 'n dieselmotor voldoende is. I don't know what is here, but I did this to show you that you can still work with it. Okay, so if you translate it, it will come out to keep your revolutions up or high, eats away at your petrol. Motorists step on the acceleration up to 3000 something per minute or more when they change to a high gear, while 2500 in a petrol car and 2000 in a diesel car is more than enough. Okay, so what I got there is keep your revolutions low, because if they are high, it eats up at your petrol, which means that these two things are irrelevant. Okay, next, paragraph 5. Beplan jou reis sodat jy die kortste, you must now know the difference between kort en lank, routes volg. That one can easily be translated to routes because you know that you're dealing with petrol, trips, all that. Volg en die met die kruisings en voetgangers vermy. So it basically means plan your trip so that you can use the shortest route to avoid the routes with a lot of turns and pedestrians. Then it also says, where are you? Vermy so ver as moontlik spitstye en swaar verkeer. Irrelevant, benadruk Leighton. Jy kan verkeersverslae in Google Maps monitor om verkeersknope te probeer verby. 'n Verkeersknop is traffic. So I also think it's irrelevant, but I like the part about using Google Maps to inform you about the road you're about to travel. So volg die kortste routes, or you can say volg jou Google Maps om verkeer te vermy. Actually, this is two separate things because it's like take the shortest route you know and use Google Maps to avoid traffic. Number 6, momentum is your friend. Let op na die verkeer, na 'n paar 100 meter vir jou, I truly feel like all of that was irrelevant. And then when you get to a red traffic light, you can drive slowly so that it's green when you get there. I don't see how that's saving petrol. The one about momentum, maybe, but I don't think about the second one as a tip. All right. Number 7, probeer soveel moontlik dinge tydens een rit afhandel in plaas daarvan om kort vir een of twee items winkel toe te ry. So that means try to do as much as you can during one trip instead of going to the shops for one or more items. Okay, so here I said handel alles af in een rit of gaan net een keer winkels toe of doen alles in een rit. All of this means the same thing. Okay, so what helped? I started each sentence with an action word. Also, in the rules, they said that the sentences must be full sentences. So you can see that I put a full stop. Like, that is, yes, that's very critical. All right, started with an action word. That helped me a lot. I ignored irrelevant information. If you don't know, you assume, oh, you solve for X, like I did with that other one that I didn't understand, the releases. Keep the total task under 15 minutes. So I find that if I practice with a timer, I am able to do summaries under 15 minutes, even in the test. Actually, I think I had it down. My best speed was like 12 minutes, and I still got 10 out of 10 because I practiced. So if you think that you're going to figure it out during the test, you are highly mistaken, because there are things that you can prepare for ahead of time, so you don't ask yourself while you're sitting there. So let's quickly look at the memo. Honestly, my honest opinion, when I looked at the memo, I feel like they have become a lot more lenient. Here, a gemiddelde spoed. I wouldn't have put gemiddelde spoed, but I guess they mean on average the momentum that you're supposed to maintain. Laat verbruik daal. So we said handhaaf, maintain a spoed van 100 km/h of minder. Skakel oor na 'n hoër rad. Skakel oor na 'n hoër rad. That's directly quoted. Even this part at the bottom is unnecessary. We said gebruik net hoë radde. Then om jou engine toere. If someone struggles with Afrikaans, there's no way that they will have come up with the word engine toere. Hou hoogte laat hardloop, gebruik baie brandstof. Hou jou revolusies laag. That's what we have. Beplan jou reis sodat jy kort roetes volg. Volg die kortste roetes. Okay. Gebruik momentum tot jou voordeel. Again, I don't see how that lowers petrol use. And then beplan jou rit om soveel moontlik dinge in een rit af te handel. These are the most words that they've used for this tiny thing. Handel alles af in een rit. Of doen alles in een rit. So more like, I don't know a teacher. Maybe if you're a teacher, let me know in the comments. How would you assess my summary? And hopefully it's someone who's been in the teaching industry for about 10 years, because the way that we used to do summaries is that you had to think of the shortest way to say something and use your own words as much as possible to ensure that you get 10 out of 10. All right, so here is the rubric. So this must be tattooed in your mind, okay? So you get 7 marks for 7 facts, and you get 3 marks for language, which gives you a total of 10. So if you did not quote directly from there, and you used your own sentences, for 1 to 3 facts, you get 1 mark. 4 to 5 facts, you get 2 marks. 6 to 7 facts, you get 3 marks. So that's how you would get 7 marks for 7 facts and 3 marks for using your own language. They used to be way more strict about this. All right, so if you did directly quote, and let's say you did have 7 facts, then for all 7 facts, you are going to get 0 marks. So you're going to get 7 out of 10 if you directly quote it. So that's why I'm saying that if you struggle really with Afrikaans, rather quote directly and get your 7. But if you have a bit of understanding, rather use your own words and get 10. Okay, so I'm doing this in the point of view that you are getting 10. All right, so at the bottom here, it says the people marking must count the words to verify. So maybe don't estimate, but honestly, that's a lot. That's how you get 10 out of 10. If you follow this, you should be able to get 10 out of 10. Congratulations. If you want to master it, you need to keep trying. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel so that I can make more videos for you guys. Are you ready for your next lesson? Make sure that you check out all the other videos if you need help with any of the other topics in Afrikaans. This whole channel is dedicated to helping English students with Afrikaans, because I know how hard it can be, but at the same time, I've also learned that it is the easiest thing in the world and you can do it. All right. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.